Serious flashing lights and spoilers warning. You have been warned.
First there was the void, then there was the connection, and the flower of hope that will give birth to a sanctuary. With his head in hand, he who bore the pain will try to reach the void again. The place where nothing moves, where darkness is lord and silence is preacher. There his head can pour freely onto a new seed which with a renewed purpose will sprout life. Unless Caecilius violence and the apologetic boys will again be wallpapered here to the corridors of Pest Sanctuary. A time known as Post-Void, a place known as Post-Void.
Post-Void was released by YCJY Games on August 6, 2020 for PC and May 16, 2023 for consoles. Currently it is available on Steam and GOG for PC as well as PlayStation and Nintendo Switch for console players. As you probably see in the background footage, Post-Void is a really fast-paced first-person shooter. Mechanically, the game only has a few things going for it. WASD to move, spacebar to jump, and control or shift if you prefer to slide. However, unlike most games, no matter what genre, Post-Void does not have a heads-up display or an HUD. Instead, all you need to know is shown to you by the head idol you carry, which is your health. In this game, speed and time is everything, to the point that the time itself is your health. Your head has about 8 seconds of life in it. After that, you get a countdown and then you die. Getting hit also obviously makes you lose liquid, and getting hit during the countdown instantly kills you. Speaking of the countdown, I now completely understand anyone who has triskophobia. Seeing that 3 appear is horrifying. Anyhow, how do you get your health or time back? You may ask. Well, it's easy. Kill enemies. Killing enemies refills your liquid by a few seconds, making your gameplay loop consist of you trying to run as fast as possible while trying to kill as many enemies as you see. Post-Void has 11 levels, divided into 3 acts. The easiest, Act 1, consisting of 3 levels. The harder, Act 2, considering of 3 levels as well, now with some verticality added on. And the maze-like Act 3, consisting of 4 levels. Lastly, the 11th level is the epilogue. Reaching an end of a level will present you with an option out of 3 random buffs, which you will keep until the end of the run. Post-Void is a roguelike, which means that dying, no matter where you are or what act, will always set you back the first level, while also taking away all of your buffs, having you start from scratch. Unlike most games that come out recently, Post-Void doesn't have any grind or post-game progression. It's always just you and your skill that keeps getting better, not the items making you better. The only thing you keep after your death is your high score, which really gives the game a kind of arcade-like feeling. But speaking of the buffs you get at the end of the level, let's go through them. The most basic ones are bigger clips and faster reloading, which speak for themselves. Unlike most buffs, these two can be stacked up to 4 while increasing your reload speed or increasing your magazine capacity with each stack. Explosive bullets and bouncing bullets are the 2 top tier upgrades that I suggest you take almost any time you see them, especially if you're a new player, since they allow you to kill as many enemies as possible in the least amount of time with least precision. Ghost is another good buff that allows you to more easily pass through enemies, since enemies in this game have a slow on contact kind of deal, which means that getting stuck on an enemy is pretty easy, and Ghost helps you with that. Big Idol is a pretty basic health increase upgrade, which gives you about 1 more second of life, and based on as far as I can tell, it can be upgraded or get stacked up to 2 times. Slow Bullets is pretty useful for newer players as it slows down enemies' bullets, as the name suggests, which makes it easier for you to dodge and get less hit. And lastly, Serious Mode is just a reference to Half-Life 2 speedruns, which allows you to move much faster when moving backwards, but in my opinion, and based on my gameplay, it's more of a hindrance than anything, since it just throws you off when you move backwards faster than forwards. And the last 3 upgrades that I'll talk about are the weapons. Every round you starts with the pistol, and let me tell you, do not underestimate the little thing. In my opinion, the pistol is one of the best weapons in the correct hands. It one-shots any enemy in the head whilst having a very fast reload speed, having a whole 6 bullets in the clip. One of the alternatives to the pistol is the Uzi, which while having significantly less damage, has a bigger clip of about 2 whole seconds of holding down M1 and has an insane fire rate. The shotgun is the glass cannon of the weapons, killing any enemy in a single shot while having a slow reload and only 2 bullets in the clip. And the last weapon is the knife, which is sorta like the shotgun, but worse. It doesn't mean it's not badass though. The knife might be the coolest weapon to use, and also will get you the most respect for completing the game with it. But what are good weapons without any good enemies to kill them with? Well, let's think about the amazing cast we'll see in Post-Void. The black and the white suits are the most basic enemies, shooting at you and also dodging away from your attacks. Black suits appear from level 1 up to the last levels of Act 2. And then in Act 3 being replaced by white suits, who, being an upgrade, of course, shoot more frequently and dodge more frequently. The flamingos appear in level 2 of Act 1 and are basically like the demons from the original Doom, who just run up to you trying to chomp you to death. While they're a lot easier to fight than most enemies, it's still really easy to get stuck on them, and they're still a threat, so kill them on sight. Crying Mouths, while appearing in every level, even from Act 1, they only really begin to start being dangerous in Act 2, as they appear more closely to the player. While they're stationary, they do shoot a barrage of projectiles which can easily take you out, so once again, kill on sight. Telehands might be the most annoying enemy in the whole game, especially to newer players, as the Telehands act similar to manhacks in Half-Life 2, where they will try to surround you and fly all over you, and as previously mentioned, touching an enemy slows you down, so they are like a glue trap, which slows you down and kills you. Plus, due to their small size and small hitbox, killing them is extremely tedious. The flesh wall does exactly as it's told. It's a wall of flesh, and it walls over the places you need to go. However, unlike most enemies, who you can headshot anytime, flesh wall only gives you 1 chance to headshot it, and if you miss and hit it in the body somewhere, it will hide its head, basically removing its headshot ability, forcing you to shoot or I guess a dump your whole mag just trying to kill it, since it's one of the tankiest enemies in the whole game. Plus, sometimes it will try to trick you by walling off dead ends. The last enemy is only seen in Act 3 in the epilogue, that is the Bulb Hand. Most people find them annoying, well, I don't really see that. Bulb Hands are like living flashbangs. They will try to run up to you and white out your screen for about a second. However, most of the time you can just easily kill them, as they deliberately run up to you, and unlike the annoying little Telehands, Bulb Hands are grounded, so you can always just shoot at the ground to kill them. And lastly, let's talk about the music. Post-Void has only 1 soundtrack, but it fits the game perfectly, and it's also versatile enough to not get annoying or boring even after hours of gameplay. You've been listening to this whole time in the background, and you gotta admit, it's pretty freaking great. In conclusion, I definitely recommend Post Void to anyone who likes fast FPS games, or hell, anyone who likes any shooter games in general, as long as you don't suffer from epilepsy and are okay with the weird art style of the game. I mean, the game is only $3 and is meant to be played in short bursts like an arcade game instead of forcing you to grind down for 2 hours. Beating the game completely takes about 5 to 7 minutes even to newer players. So just sit down, play a couple of runs and then get up, and that's your gameplay loop, and it's amazing. And as previously mentioned, this game is totally reliant on skill, so once you beat Post Void, even for the first time, you can look at yourself and say to yourself, I did it all by myself, and be proud of yourself. Also, this review has been mostly for PC audiences, but I have played the game on console as well, and I'll say this. Compared to PC, it feels a lot easier on console, mostly because the game feels slower to rush you out, how slow the console is compared to PC, but still, the game is pretty challenging, and it still is fun to play on console, and still runs smooth as butter. Alright, thank you for listening, have a wonderful day, goodbye.